Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. Well, we've had some special days lately, but today I get the chance to give the youngest birthday shout out ever on the channel because Blackjack Fitz, the author of today's puzzle, wrote to us and asked for a shout out for his son, Michael, being born today. He wrote to us overnight. The baby hadn't been born yet. I'm a little bit scared, Michael. I'm a little bit scared for Michael. I'm a little bit scared, Brian. Let us know what's happened as soon as you do get a chance to see the video. I do appreciate it may not be today, but happy birthday, Michael. Maybe one day you'll get to see that your dad organised a shout out for you on your birthday. But Brian, there are a few details left unmentioned. We don't know your wife's name, and that would be useful to know. Your wife is a very, very important player today, in my personal opinion. I do remember the anxiety feelings on the birth of a second child, who was a son for me as well. That was just over 17 years ago, but it feels in many ways like yesterday. I'm going to get quite emotional thinking about it, and I imagine that you've had a day very much like this, assuming things have gone well. And I don't know, the feelings, you just can't describe them to somebody who hasn't gone through them. You can't describe them accurately. They are very overwhelming. So I wish your whole family very well. I'm going to leave the kind of product advertising till the end of this video and try and compose myself by having a go at Out of Order by Blackjack Fitz. Today's happy father, we hope. But let us know. Anyway, do tell me your experiences of the day of a birth, because nothing is like it in the world, in my opinion. And let's look at the rules of Out of Order. So 1 to 9 appears in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Although the lines in this are pink, we understand that Michael is a boy. Maybe should be blue. But digits separated by a black dot are in a 1 to 2 ratio. Digits along a pink line form a consecutive set. So it's a normal Renban line so far until now. The consecutive set must appear out of order. So 4, 3, 2, 1 is not valid because they would be in order, in a strict descending order, while 4, 3, 1, 2 is. So that's an unusual twist to the Renban rule. We'll see what difference it makes as we go, I guess. Do give it a try on the link under the video. You can judge from the video length how tough this one is. I'm going to reset the clock and say, let's get cracking. Okay, we've got boxes. We've got 3 boxes with 3 lines in. Here's a knowledge bomb. 1 must appear in each of those boxes, and 9. I have a knowledge bomb for you, you see, today. Now, the 1 must appear on a line with 2 and 3. The 9 must appear on a line with 8 and 7. So the other line in these boxes is 4, 5, 6. There must be a set of 1, 2, 3, a set of 4, 5, 6, and a set of 7, 8, 9. Right, here's what we know because of the new rule. These middle digits, we know that there's a 1, 2, 3 line. If we were to put 2 in one of the middle digits, it would be on a line with 1 and 3, and they would be in the right order one way or the other, which in this case is the wrong order. So we cannot put 2 in the middle, we cannot put 5 in the middle, and we cannot put 8 in the middle. And therefore, these middle-y cells are filled with the digits. Yes, I've left out the right ones. 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 9. Now, what goes on the black dot? I think it has to be 3, 6. 1 and 4 are the only digits from the 1, 2, 4, 8 family. So that is a 3, 6 pair. And that means these lines are the 1, 2, 3 line and the 4, 5, 6 line. And this is the 7, 8, 9 line. And we don't know quite which way round it goes, but the middle digit can't be 8. So I can do exactly that pattern in this box where the black dot is in a symmetrically, perfectly opposite position, and exactly the same strictures apply. That's quite neat already, by the way. I like this. This is going well. Now, we've got a black dot here that cannot be 3, 6, because it would break row 2, column 9. So that is from the family of black dot digits 1, 2, 4, 8. Does that tell us anything about this line or this line? Not obviously. Oh, I mean, I suppose I could... I don't think this central box works the same way because there's no black dots within it. But again, these central digits cannot be from 2, 5 and 8. This is another box where we must have a 1, 2, 3 line, a 4, 5, 6 and a 7, 8, 9. So that still applies. On the black dot, we can't have 9 or 7 on either black dot. Okay, that much I can do. It's over heavy pencil marking. Simon would be appalled. He'd throw up his hands in horror. But he's not here, so don't worry. Now, I was going back to thinking about this black dot and its digits. If that was... Okay, this can't be a 2, 4 pair, because this is either a 1, 2, 3 or a 4, 5, 6 line. That's quite interesting. So this is either 4, 8 or 1, 2. Now, is this going to be extreme? Right. It's not. This is lovely, lovely stuff. Have a look at this. This is superb. Okay, what I'm now going to prove is that this line is not the 4, 5, 6 line in box 3. I like this. Okay, this works. Right, if this was the 4, 5, 6 line, we know this is the 7, 8, 9 line. This would be the 1, 2, 3 line. This would be... It wouldn't have 4, 5, 6 on it, so it would be extreme, one side or the other on the list of the digits from 1 to 9. This would either be 1, 2, 3 or 7, 8, 9. And we would have roping. That is when you get the same set of 3 digits in boxes in the same chute, as it were, 3 times. And once you get roping for one set of the digits, you get it for all of them. If that was the 7, 8, 9s and this was the 4, 5, 6s, they would be the same. Oh no, we were positing that that was the 4, 5, 6, so this would be the 1, 2, 3 set. Right, 4, 5, 6 there would force an extreme line here, either 7, 8, 9 or 1, 2, 3. But both of those will not work down here, and I'll show you why. If you had 7, 8, 9 in both of those sets, these digits would also be 7, 8, 9 at the bottom. But whichever was the higher one on the line would also need the lower one on the line. So imagine, let's just take a random disposition of 7, 8, 9 there, and I'll show you why it can't work. This 9 would need 7 and indeed 8 on its line, and it can't have them. Even if you make these as low as possible, 7 and 8, the higher one of them will need the lower digit on its line, and that can't happen. And the same is true in reverse for the 1, 2, 3s. If that was 4, 5, 6, this would be 1, 2, 3. Let's imagine this was 1, 2, 3. This would be 1, 2, 3, and again, the 1 or the 2, whichever one was the lower digit on a pink line there, would fail because it couldn't get its higher friend. And that is enough to mean that this can't be a 4, 5, 6 line, because that would have to be an extreme line, 7, 8, 9 or 1, 2, 3. That is absolutely beautiful. I think that's going to work over this side as well because of this disposition of lines. This didn't have anything to do with the black dot here. So that's good because these black dots are not equivalent. One of them is in the 7, 8, 9 column and one of them isn't. But it didn't matter. This cannot be the 4, 5, 6 line. So this is the 4, 5, 6 line. That's really, really neat. I assume you have to see it this way. Now the same here. This cannot be the 4, 5, 6 line, or that would be extreme. And these 3 digits would break. No. Well, yeah, they would break the puzzle just as much. Actually, that's probably a simpler way of seeing it. If that was 4, 5, 6, this is either This is either 1, 2, 3 or 7, 8, 9, and this must be the other of those sets. This is either 1, 2, 3 or 7, 8, 9, and whichever is the higher needs the lower on its line, so it's impossible. So this is not 4, 5, 6 either. 4, 5, 6 is shoved off to the side again. This is 3, 1, 2 in some order. And now we can't have a 4 on this black dot because of 6, 4, 5. So we also can't have an 8. It is a 1, 2 pair. It doesn't tell us what this is. These digits, though, these are from 3, 7, 8, 9 in this column because we've used 4, 5, 6 and a 1, 2 pair. Now, it's the same strictures apply. 3 must be on one of these pink lines because otherwise this would be a 9, 8, 7 set and we'd have the same problem with the higher digit. So one of those is a 3. One of these two is a 3. And this is 7, 8 or 9 as well in the column. Now, the 3 is not going to meet a 2 or a 1 in this cell. Not that interesting. Oh, neither of these are a 9 because there is another high digit in this trio. And if 9 was here, say, this line would have to be 7, 8, 9. Not only would that break this cell, it would require one of these two. So neither of the cells on the pink line are 9. And that means... No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. Neither of these lines is 7, 8, 9 because that would break this cell. So 9 is never on these lines. So 9 is in one of these 3 cells in the box. And that digit becomes a 7. And now this one can't be a 7. And can either of these be an 8? They would then be an 8, 7, 6 line. The other one would have a 3 on. Yeah, I think that's all right. I can't make rulings about that. Now, can I go over here and do some equivalent of this stuff? Maybe not, because this black dot is less helpful. This could be 1, 2, 2, 4, or 3, 6. So, I need to think of some other approach. Or something more thorough to do. Okay. I've just remembered. Obviously, this is a group. These sets of lines in box 7. One of them is 1, 2, 3. One of them is 4, 5, 6. One of them is 7, 8, 9. Now, that means that none of these lines can be extreme lines. We can't have 1, 2, 3 there, or this cell would be broken. We can't have it there, or this cell would be broken. So 1 can't appear on either of the pink lines. 1 is in one of these cells. We know it's not there. We know it's not here because of the 1, 2, 3. We therefore know it is here. And this, I don't know, do we know what this digit is? I think there are a restricted number of choices. Well, let's do Sudoku first. It can't be 3, 6 or 7, and it can't be 2. So it's 4, 5, 8 or 9. But the 3 on one of these lines is going to bring the 4 with it. We know it's not going to touch the 1. So it's either 2, 3, 4 or 3, 4, 5. So that can't be a 4. It can't be a 9. Yes, it could be a 9. Getting a bit stuck now. There is only one high digit in these 3 cells because it's that one appearing there and in one of these. I don't know how to use that. These digits can't have a 9 in. 9 is confined in that box. So these are selected from 2, 4, 5, 8. Is that any use? I doubt it. Not yet, I don't think. I feel like I should be doing something else over here. I mean, it's the same deal here. None of these can have 1 on because 1 is in one of those cells. And if that was 1, 2, 3, it would break that cell. If that was 1, 2, 3, it would break that cell. Same with 9. Neither of them can have 9 on because there'd be a 987 line breaking their counterpart cell in column 7. So 1 and 9 are in this middle stripe, the filling in the Oreo up here. 1 is not in that cell, 9 is not in that cell because of these triples down here. I wanted to say this can't be 987. I don't think... Oh yes, I do have that right, because in this box, we don't know so much about these digits. But we do know one of these lines is a 1, 2, 3, one of them's a 4, 5, 6, and one of them's a 7, 8, 9. So this cannot be an extreme version either side. If it was 4, 5, 6, it would break whichever of these lines was 4, 5, 6. If it was 7, 8, 9, it would break whichever of these was 7, 8, 9. Oh, by the way, the black dots have told us that this is the 789 line. I had not seen that, because neither of these digits can be from 789. So this is the 789 line. I don't know if that's going to help, but it's quite interesting. That is a 4, 5, or 6 in this box. It sees 1 and 2, and that 3. But the whole point of this was that this is not 4, 5, 6 and it's not 7, 8, 9. It's from a group in between those extremes, and therefore it's got 6 and 7 on it. Now, the 7 is in one of those cells. We've just got the 7, 8, 9 triple. The 6 is in one of them. There's either a 5 or an 8 on this line, and the 4 and the 9 in the column are in this set. And I think that gives us a 9 overlap. There must be a 9 in this group, and we know there's a 9 in that pair, so it has to be here. Now, there is a 4 in one of these cells. That is an X-wing with 4s over here. That's going to use up the 4s in rows 1 and 3 and put a 4 in one of these places. That 9, by the way, is looking straight at this digit, which is a 7. Now, this one can't be the 1, 2, 3 line, or that would break. So this is the 4, 5, 6 line. Mustn't have 5 in the middle. This is the 1, 2, 3 line. Now, let's look at the black dots. This one is 2, 3, or 8, based on this. This one is just 2 or 6, not many possibilities there. I haven't done any thinking about the 4 here. Or about the missing digit here. There might be some thinking to do about that, but I don't know what it is. Let me just... This can't be 6 anymore because this is the 4, 5, 6 line, so 6 in one of those. If it's a 6, 7, 8 line, 6 is in the middle. If it's a 4, 5, 6 line... No, it can't be 4, 5, 6. If it's a 5, 6, 7 line, that's a 7. Oh, then that's a 5. And that's a 6. Okay, this line must be subject to the same things I worked out about these two. So this must not have 4 or 9 on this line. It can't be 4, 5, 6, because that would be 7, 8, 9, and this whole trip would be impossible. And this can't be 7, 8, 9, because it's got 4, 5, or 6 on it. Yeah, okay, so 6 and 7 are on this line as well, over this side. And that's not a 7, and that's not a 6. And this isn't a 4 either, because it's either 5, 6, 7, or 6, 7, 8. So the 4 in the column is in one of these two cells. Again, we've got this sort of X-wing. Oh, look, I've got an 8, 9 pair in the final column. So that's now a 3, 7 pair. I think that might have been obvious. Anyway, one of these is a 7 line with a 6 on its line, which is not in those cells because we've just said 6 is there somewhere. So 6 is in one of those. One of them is a 3 with a 4 on its line, which I've deemed already is in one of these. That was because it's not on this line. But we don't know how those two lines complete, I don't think. Can this be a 5? That would be a 6. These would be 7 and 8. That seems fine. If 5's on this line, it has to be in the middle. Otherwise, it would be 5, 6, 7 in the right order, one way or the other. That feels strange. Oh, 2. 2 is in one of those cells and one of those cells. It's a partner with 6 in one of these. So one of these lines is 2, 3, 4, and the other one is 6, 7, and either a 5 or an 8 in one of these cells. But we've got a 2 X-wing. Right, so that's not a 2. That's going to use the 2's in both rows 7 and 9 because it needs 1 in column 7 and 1 in column 2. So this is now not a 2. This is 3 or 8. Now, if that was 6, 3, this is 4, 8. Two and 4 are definitely in this group of cells. There's something going on. I'm missing something. 7, 7. There's a 7 in one of these two. Is there an 8 in one of those with a 6? Well, there's the 7 line has a 6 on it. It's either 876 or 765. The 6 is in one of those. Doesn't rule it out of here yet. And there's a 4. And I haven't used this line at all. Maybe I need to. The possible digits here are 2, 4, 5, 8. I don't think 8 can be on this line with either 2, 4 or 5. So, what does that tell me? Not quite enough, because 8 could still be there. Okay, I'm missing something down here. Let's try and figure this one out. We've got 2, 1, 6 and a 3, 7 pair. These are from 4, 5, 8, 9. I mean, I've known that for a long time. Isn't there a 9 overlap? Yes, there is. It's here, isn't it? That can't have a 9 on because 7, 8, 9 there would clash with that. That's it. So, 9 is in one of those cells, but it's also in one of these two, so it's an overlap here. That puts an 8 here. That takes 8 off these lines. That takes 8 out of these cells. Now, this digit is interesting. This can't be a 4, right? This can't be a 4, because if it was a 4, these two would either use a 2 or a 5 on the line, and they're taken up here. Now, if that was a 5, these would be 2 and 4. This would be a 6, 7 pair. That's possible. If this was a 2, 4 and 5 would be used up. This would be a 1, 3 pair. So this is either a 1, 3 pair or a 6, 7 pair. Oh, these can't have a 9 in. Hang on, let's just get the pencil marking right. That's now a 4, 5. This is 6, 7, 8. That digit is a 6. These are 7 and 8. That digit is a 9. This is a 3, 4, 5 triple. That one has to be a 3 out of those. Bit of Sudoku. 6 is looking at that cell, so this is a 6. That's a 7. This now can't be an 8 in the middle. It must be a 5. These are from 1, 2, 3, and that's narrowing down the black dot. Oh, that 7 is resolving 8 and 7 there. In this row, we've got 4 and 8 to place. There's only one way this is going to work, and that is 4 on top of 2. That 2 looks across the grid, and that looks back across the grid, and we've got 9 and 1 to put in there. Boxes 4 and 6 are suddenly finished. This group of cells is a 3, 5, 6 triple, and the middle cell sees 3 and 6, so that's a 5. And now suddenly I've got 2, 4 on this line. That's a 3. That's an 8. This is a 1. Oh, we did get 5 in the middle. I thought 5 was going to be on a line, but it's not. In fact, that's now a 6. That's a 3. These lines, one of them is 3, 2, 4, that's the bottom one. One of them is 6, 7, 8, that's the top one. It's lovely. There's a really beautiful flow to this puzzle, as I hope there is to your day, Brian. 5, 8, 1, 2. This has become a 6, and now we're going to get to do the middle column. 6 there, 3 there, 8, 4, 2, 5. And that 5 has, because 4 has been used, actually we can fill them in. That 5 uses 6 and 7 on its line. That places 6 and 7 over here. 3 and 2. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spot. Light, proving its position. Explain that to your son in the future. That's a 5, that's a 4. This is a 1, 3 pair, which we know the order of. And the whole thing's going to unwind now. That's a 9. Go back to finishing the central column and it's all done. 9 and 7, I can't place those, but I must be able to place these, 1 and 2. These are 8 and 9. These are 5 and 6. Then I go down to the bottom, 7 and 6. And then what was given to us out of order, we have achieved in order. Huzzah! And that is a very appropriate interjection today. So very well done if you had a go at that puzzle and just nailed it. Very well done if you struggled through it and got there. It's a really neat idea. That new rule about the Renban must be out of order worked very nicely. So thank you very much to Blackjack Fits. Now, I did say I would mention a few things around the channel. On Patreon, we have the Duality Hunt, which is by Skunkworks, and it's fantastic. Loads of lines in that. All of them have double meanings, and it's absolutely brilliant. That's on Patreon, along with all sorts of other stuff that we've got there. And our apps. We have a whole suite of 11 apps, and it's going to be 12, either at the weekend or on Monday. Fog of War Sudoku is coming out. We're so pleased about this. Very exciting. If you want our merchandise, I strongly recommend the Knowledge Bomb water bottle. It works beautifully. And you can also find your way to Sven's Sudoku Pad in the links under the video and support Sven, who makes this marvellous software. So that's it for today. Thank you very much. Congratulations again, I hope, sincerely, to Brian and to Michael Fitzgerald, who's new to the world, I hope now. And thank you for watching, as always. An absolute pleasure to be with you. We can't put the world to rights, but we can solve Sudoku one cell at a time, and that's what we try and do. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.